So we thought we'd take a second this very hot Thursday afternoon? Wednesday afternoon. Are you sure it's Wednesday?
Not positive, but pretty sure.
To do a quick garden tour. I mean, some people don't like them. I like to see what's going on in people's gardens, especially as the summer goes on. And I do want to add that it didn't look like this yesterday. We were on a little trip, and we were gone 4 days, and we came home yesterday and kind of busted our tail to get it back in order. So it's not like if we show you this is the way it looks all the time.
No.
Because it didn't look like this yesterday. We had to do a lot of work to kind of get it back in. You know, when you go, if you were in the weed growing business, all you got to do is leave town and you'd have bumper crop, because that's what happens when we leave town. The weeds take off. But we're going to show you, we kind of have two gardens. She's got a little bit of a concentration, and then I have one.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm going to let her go first and show you what she's doing, because it's a lot more interesting than anything I do.
I don't know about that. So he gave me the part of the garden that has the woven fabric, which is really the easiest garden because there's really not any weeds. So these are our rattlesnake green beans. I need to come out here and pick some. We love those. Those are some of our favorites. They can well and they freeze well. So this garden tour, we're just going to be real with you, because some things do well and some things don't do well. And I feel like some of the videos out there are showing you how everything looks just great, but there's really very few gardens that everything looks just great. So these are our Marketmore cucumbers. That one was planted the exact same time as those. So I don't know why one's growing and the rest are not. So I'm excited about this. The yarrow, I've never grown yarrow, but it's a perennial. It should come back every year, and it has some medicinal properties. It's just a good plant to have. And look, the beneficial insects like it too. So, and then over there we have basil. I've got just regular basil, and then I have a cinnamon basil and a cardinal basil. My tomatoes are primarily heirlooms, and some of the favorite ones that I've grown through the years, so I'll show you those.
And yours are indeterminate.
Most of mine are indeterminate. So we've got some mortgage lifters and sunrise bumblebees, rosella. Those are some of my favorite. This is rosella. And I did something this year for the first time. We didn't prune these.
Look, you're not lacking on blooms on this one here.
Lord, no. Look at all those blooms. Lots of blooms. That's a rosella, I think. Yeah. Yeah, that's a rosella. So, yeah, if all those blooms make, we're going to have cherry tomatoes coming out of our ears. So, this is a fun variety right here, too. These are Berry's Crazy Cherry. You can tell them they've got a funky little serrated look to them, and they are so prolific. They're some of my favorite. They're yellow tomatoes, but they're very, very prolific, and they taste very good. So I'm not sure what these are. Oh, these are mortgage lifters. I don't know what causes them to get that cat face look to them. If any of y'all know what makes them get that little funky look to the bottom of them, comment and let us know. But those are supposed to be gangbusters for tomatoes production. And this is a sunrise bumblebee. You can tell it's got some little variations in the skins. Show us your tomatoes.
Mine are going to be pretty quick. This whole row of tomatoes is Bella Rosa. They're determinate. They'll put on and be done. That is on this plastic stuff. Do you like the plastic?
I love the plastic. Love it.
This is a whole row, 100-foot row of cantaloupes. We like cantaloupes. Not this much, but we'll figure that part out later. Had 2 rows of purple hull peas. I don't like the way they're doing, so I'm probably gonna cut them down, till them under, and start them over again. And then we got the sweet corn. This is Silver King, King sweet corn. We liked it better than anything last year, so that's the only thing we did this year was Silver King. So this is the first planting. You can tell it's well as on its way. There's a couple of later rows right here. There's this used to be a grass patch last year. We had I had a grass alley between the two gardens. And this year I wanted to do the whole thing garden because I didn't like cutting grass and throwing it back into the garden. So I just tilled it up and planted sunflowers on it. Some of these are getting ready to make some heads. I got some heads started on those. But of course, that's the reason there's so much more grass in these 4 rows. This is the last planting of sweet corn here. Again, it's the Silver King. The herbicide program I got is just showing out right here. I mean, all this corn's clean. And
what'd you put in there for herbicide?
Atrazine. So this is the last planting of sweet corn, and then this is another 2 rows of purple hull peas. These are doing real good. They hadn't been thinned out yet. Neither has that corn. And I got some funny looking peas down on the end. That's because I planted them a week later because I ran out of peas. But they won't ever catch up. But I mean, they'll fill out the row.
Well, they'll just come in later, and we'll have some to eat on fresh.
Yeah, they just won't be the same time.
Why do these peas look so much better than the other peas?
I'm not sure the answer to that question, but
are they the same variety?
The same thing, exact same. Most of them came out of the exact same bag.
Huh.
Now, I did notice when we came out here yesterday, a rabbit running out of the garden. I forgot to tell you that yesterday.
Huh.
But I mean, if he only knew, we also grow rabbits, and we've been doing it over a year now, I guess.
Yeah, a couple of years.
But if he knew how proficient I was at turning rabbits into a meal, I would hope that he would second guess getting in the garden.
We'll have enough to share with him probably, don't you think?
Yeah. Anyway, that's the gist of the garden. It has started getting hot, and which is a lot of the reason the weeds take over. Because everybody likes to garden when it's 70 degrees outside, but it has been hot. It was like right at 100 today. And we watered some this morning. You can't tell it, you know. You had the sprinkler on for what, 2 hours?
Yeah, I had it on for 2 hours.
I like gardening a lot, but I don't want it to take up all of my off time after work.
Yeah.
So I tend to, you know, plant easier stuff than she might with peas and corn and sunflowers and stuff like that. I'm more of a bulk guy, you know. I mean, I plant like all the same thing or something, but
yeah, that's
just because I got to have time to do other responsibilities after work.
Well, and the majority of what we eat, a lot of tomatoes and a lot of corn and black-eyed peas. We do have some squash. I'll take you over there and show you the squash.
Yeah, the bulk of what we eat are peas and corn.
Peas and corn.
Definitely the bulk.
And tomatoes.
And tomatoes. And that's like the row of tomatoes I did. I was planning on basically canning all of them, you know. So that was, I think, 45 tomato plants on that 100-foot row. And, you know, they're determinate. They'll put out one big picking, one terrible, huge cooking, and that'll be it, you know. So
it's going to be more than one.
That's the plan anyway.
It's going to be more than one. You've got a 100-foot row of tomatoes. I think you might live to regret planting all that at the same time.
We don't have to pick them. I mean...
No, we're going to pick them.
We don't have to pick them.
We're going to pick them.
The rabbit may get a lot of them.
Rabbit can't eat tomatoes.
It may be who gets the blame for it.
So
anyway, that's the...
I'm going to do some sun-dried tomatoes too in the solar dehydrator you made. I'm going to do that. So this is one of our raised beds. We have 2 raised beds, and these are my onions. They're doing okay. And these are my leeks. Y'all, I don't know if y'all have got one of these hoes. My twin sister gave me one for my birthday last year, and I highly recommend it. I don't know what you call it, but it's fabulous. You need to get you one. If you have never grown leeks, you need to do that. I forgot about some leeks that I planted last year. I just completely forgot about them. I didn't water them. I didn't do anything. And I came back in the fall, and they were big, and they taste great. I need to find out more ways to cook leek. If you have any good recipes, put me a link in the comments, because I do love leeks. I don't know how to cook them as much variety as I want to. But now we're going to walk over to the squash. We've got yellow squash and zucchini squash. Step over my electric fence without getting shocked. We have deer everywhere, so that's how we keep them out. So there's my yellow squash coming on. Probably need to water them. Again, these raised beds dry out fast. I'll have some yellow squash to pick in a few days. And there's my zucchini. I don't know if y'all do this, but I do it because my daddy did it. He would always take his work shirt off and hang it in the garden. He said it kept deer out of the garden. So we didn't really have a problem with deer getting in the garden that I remember when I was little, but anyway.
So we decided the sun was hitting us in the eyes. So this is a retake. So we came to get in the shade. Plus it's hot over there too. Horseflies have been terrible too here.
They've been so bad.
I mean, they have been awful.
They've been so bad. We do still need to drop the drip tape, the irrigation drip tape. We're going to put that on the woven fabric. And with the corn and the sunflowers and the peas, we're going to use the overhead sprinkler for them. So
yeah, it'll be easier for us to use fertilizer through the drip tape on, I mean, I call them more delicate crops over here. The other stuff, I mean, of course, you don't have to fertilize peas. They make their own nitrogen, you know, and the corn is easy to fertilize, and I only usually fertilize it twice, you know. So this corn here has been fertilized twice, and it won't get fertilized anymore. I mean, it'll be picked hopefully around July 4th, you know, or right before July 4th. And that's
one of the benefits of watering with the drip tape is some of the vegetables that are prone to fungus, like the tomatoes, watering overhead. If you're gonna water overhead with a sprinkler, you need to do that first thing in the morning so they can dry during the day. Because if it stays wet overnight, then you can get the fungus and those kind of diseases on the tomatoes. So the drip tape is going to be much better for the tomatoes. So we got to get that out.
That's also a benefit of the pruning, is more air circulation around tomatoes.
And we just I dropped the ball on that this year. I don't think I pruned any of my tomatoes.
Oh, I thought you did that on purpose.
Well, no, I didn't do it on purpose. I just didn't get around to it. So.
Well.
Did you prune yours?
Yeah, I did.
So.
I mean, you can tell mine are not.
Yeah.
There's not as much leaf.
So. Hey, boo.
You can see the tomatoes better.
Yeah, so that's his tomatoes with pruning, his Bella Rosa with pruning. And that's mine with just letting it go at it. So these are going to be more disease prone just because they're not going to get as much airflow, but I can't prune them too much right now because that'll be too harsh on the tomatoes.
No, you can still cut them back. I mean, you can take a whole arm off if you do it with nippers, you know.
Yeah.
And clean the nippers, but
between them.
Yeah. It's not much different than taking a limb off a tree.
Yeah.
It'll certainly survive, especially when it's getting this hot, you know. That's a lot of leaf material to keep up, you know.
Well, we may do a little pruning, or I may do a little pruning on them. So look at all these flowers on here, baby. That, you know what tomato that is?
Sunshine Bumbleturd.
No, it's not Sunshine Bumbleturd.
I'm not into the name.
That's a Barry's Crazy Cherry.
There's a lot of people that are on the YouTube that, you know, just want to be able to share it with you. You know? I mean, you know, some people, if you don't like the video, you'll turn it off, but I just like seeing other people's gardens, seeing how they're doing. I'm not a big variety changer, I guess. Well,
the tomatoes I grew are the ones that I loved last year. So we planted too many last year. Some of them I loved, some of them I didn't. So.
All right, Boo's hot. We got to get her into some shade. So, hope y'all enjoyed the garden video. Holler at us if you need any peas or corn or anything. And maybe hit that subscribe. Maybe we'll do a pea giveaway, you know. For every 2 likes, we'll give away a cup full of peas.
Definitely the people that live local.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've
Or-
never done one of those. I don't know how to do it, but we're definitely going to have a bunch of cantaloupes and stuff.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have cantaloupes running out of our ears. We're not even gonna be able to give them all away. We'll have 100 feet of cantaloupes all coming in at the same time. Let's hope it comes in before 4th of July.
Yep.
So,
So hit that notification button and that like and subscribe button if you want to keep up with what's going on here. And we'll see you next time. It'll probably still be 98 degrees and 100% humidity
it'll be hot.
the next time we see you again. So we'll catch y'all later.
See ya.